What is going on YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to part number 5 of our live Pokemon Showdown UU session. This of course is going to be the 5th and final part of this session, so we're going to be wrapping things up after this one. I don't know if we can live up to what happened at the end of the last part, which I'm sure you guys watched already if you're watching this part. So yeah, but it's been very exciting. I've been having a lot of fun with this session. I hope you guys have been enjoying it as well. But as we're getting started today, just a friendly little reminder in case you would like to show your support to the channel and the series and all that fun stuff, you can do so by clicking that thumbs up button right below this video or leaving your thoughts in the comment section below. I always appreciate your suggestions, and you know, it's a bit of a collective effort. That's how this channel works. That's how I come up with all the different ideas and, you know, things for different series, different videos, things like even just Pokemon sets. We do this together. We all put our heads together and come up with, you know, all of the different ideas and strategies and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky that I have awesome people like you guys contributing, because not every channel is lucky enough to have that. Apparently this guy has been having a hard time finding a battle. Now, what are you going to lead off with? The Aggron. You're going to lead off with Aggron. Yep, there it is. Big bone, the Aggron. So I'm leading off with Chimpino. This is a bad matchup for him, even though I can't KO or just one-shot a Mega Aggron. I don't think he's going to want to stay in and take all that damage, so I will U-turn out, predicting the Milotic to come in, which is exactly what he does. But U-turn doesn't do that much, so I'm going to say that's probably physically defensive Milotic. And as such, we can very easily go into Eelia here, and we can fire off a Giga Drain. And the reason that I don't want to fire off a T-Bolt or Volt Switch is because that Dugtrio is hanging around. I don't want that coming in for free, because I don't know what it's going to do. I don't want it to set up rocks. I don't want it to set up Hone Claws or whatever. He goes for the Toxic and misses, and Giga Drain does 35%. It's a non-stab move. That's definitely physically defensive. I will go for a T-Bolt here, and I'll let him Toxic me. Despite, you know, wanting to switch into Tentacruel a little bit for the Toxic, I can't really touch Milotic. So he leaves it in, and we went first, so he must have been going for Dragon Tail. It had to be a negative priority move there. And he keeps saying "Gah" in the comment section after he, I guess, kind of toiled away his Milotic there. But that's huge, because we can fire off Flare Blitzes, and even Goodra is not going to take hits from Infernape too well. Psycat comes in, the Espeon, and Volt Switch does a whopping 43%. And we're just kind of Volt turning here, which is a little bit, I don't know if that's unfortunate, but that's just what's happening. Now he goes back into the Aggron. So thankfully I did go for the U-turn. I knew you weren't going to leave your Espeon out there, but U-turn does a nice chunk to everything on the team now except for this Aggron. Now I'll go into Boris, and he might just switch again, so I'm going to set up Stealth Rocks. Actually, we're just going to trade rocks here. That's fine by me, because my team isn't really hurt too badly, and too badly by rocks other than the Swellow. I could not think of its name. And unfortunately, EQ didn't do as much as I wanted it to. I know that he has filter and everything, and that Heavy Slam was a critical hit that did 25%. Super effective stab move, critical hit 25%. That's crazy. He says, I don't feel like I can win this. I mean, you're only down one Pokemon at this point, as he's gonna roar out into Infernape. That's like the worst Pokemon that he could have roared out into, because now I can fire off a close combat. That's gonna hurt his whole team, really, and I wouldn't be surprised that after rocks that even Espeon goes down to that. But I'm gonna U-turn. Oh, he leaves out. Maybe, yeah, I should have close combat. Why did I U-turn? I just got finished saying that his whole team is hurt by it. He goes for the T-Wave. Interesting. So I guess it's good that we U-turned out, because I don't know if a close combat would kill an Aggron from 56%. It's that bulky. Out comes absolutely disgust the Goodra as we get a free Rapid Spin. And there goes the rocks. I don't know if we'll have another opportunity to set them up. I'd hope not. But now we're in a position where this is probably the hardest Pokemon on his team to deal with. And I'm kind of surprised he hasn't brought out the Zoroark yet. But I'm just going to go for the burn, and I get it the first try, which is perfect. And he says, yeah, no, oh, that was too much for him. Scald Burn is too much. Okay, well, that was a whopping, like, well, the intro was probably almost a minute, so what, 4-minute battle? We cannot just end the session on that, so we're gonna go ahead and go for another battle. And this is an interesting team. This team gets demolished by rocks. Well, not really. I was looking at the Sigilyph from a typing standpoint, but it probably has Magic Guard, so it doesn't even get hurt by rocks. But still, the Delphox and the Vivillon have a very hard time with rocks up on the field, so we want to try to get those up as soon as possible. Now, he may predict me to lead off with Boris just to get those rocks up, and he may lead off. Oh yes, that's what I was thinking of, the Whimsicott, whose nickname is Oprah. I'm going to go for the Stealth Rocks anyway. I know Gligar can get the Defog, but I want to at least force him to use it. So we'll see. We'll see. He's probably going to just go for Leech Seed, because I don't think he's going to think that I'm going to stay in. So we'll see what he decides to do about that. Most of these are just subseeding people with, like, Moonblast, maybe? Substitute, Leech Seed, maybe even Protect and then Moonblast, or U-Turn and Moonblast, or even Giga Drain and Moonblast. But Subseed seems to be the way to go. That's what people like to run on them, so that is what I expect. And he's just going to be a problem because he's got Prankster and the priority. He's taking a really long time to think about his moves here. This is probably going to be a long battle just because of that. Long time in between moves. That's usually me during Wi-Fi battles. I take forever to think of my moves a lot of the time because I'm explaining to you guys what's going through my head and everything. As I'm going to start the timer here because he's just taking too long. But I'm trying to get my thoughts all sorted out, try to play out certain scenarios, try to think ahead just a little bit. So, because if you're just living in the now, you'll eventually lose the match because, sometimes your opponent will just be a step ahead of you. You never know. Alright, so he does get the Leech Seed up, and he's got a sub afterwards, so that stinks. Because we are pretty much forced to go for a Flamethrower here to break the sub, and he's going to Leech Seed. Missing a Leech Seed would be great. That'd be great. We get a crit that's meaningless, but we do break the sub. And at this point, I don't want to stay in and Flamethrower and just, give him HP. Do I? Do I really want to do that? Because he probably has lefties, too. Yeah, he does have lefties. He showed it already. What am I talking about? I don't know. I'm going to Volt Switch out as he opts to switch in the Nidoking, which is a very good play on his part. Because it just is. King Henry. Well, we need to switch. Nidoking presents some problems for my team. It has at least one move to hit everything on my team super effectively, with the exception of Eelektross. And Eelektross can't really take a whole lot of Sludge Waves, even with the Assault Vest, which is kind of crazy to even think about. But it does, around 50% maybe. He's going to go for the Poison Jab. Oh, that is interesting. Physical Nidoking, or possibly Mix. Possibly Mix. Because Mix King just destroys this meta. It really does. Very similar to how Mixed Infernape just takes a giant poop on the entire meta. Alright, so he decides to go back out into Oprah here. And you know what? I don't like Oprah. I don't like the way he's running Oprah. I'm not friends with Oprah. I don't care about Oprah. And I'm happy she's off the air. No, I'm not. I would never say something so rude. Let's go for... No, I mean, I'm tempted to go for a Skull just to try to get a burn on this thing, but he's just going to either sub, and then we won't break the sub, or he's going to Leech Seed, and I don't have Liquid Ooze. Of course, the time that I decide to bring a Tentacruel and not run Liquid Ooze is the time that I run into just a crazy amount of Subseeders. Now he's in a little bit of a pickle. What are you going to do? Your team really does not like Fire-type moves. I'm going to predict a switch here. I'll go for U-Turn. I don't think... I mean, the worst that happens is that he subs and we break the sub. Or he U-Turns. Or, not U-Turns. He doesn't have U-Turn, I don't think. What was I trying to say? He Leech Seeds and then we U-Turn out of it. Yeah. Kind of interesting. I'm also noticing that is a male Whimsicott named Oprah, which is... I don't know how I feel about that. It feels a little bit out of place. It was probably... He probably just said it as random. Or didn't select the gender. I do that a lot. Anyway, he's taking a long time to think about his move again. Now, looking at this team, Gligar could present a little bit of a problem because I only have... I mean, I have 3 special attackers. I was about to say I only have 1, but that would just count. Tentacruel is not a special attacker, and Eelektross too. I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, that's what I'm telling you right now, is that I am saying things that don't make sense, and I don't even understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. I was trying to make a case for the fact that Gligar could be an issue for this team, but Boom Burst, I'd have to see how much it does. I've really never been in that position where Swellow was up against the Gligar before. Speaking of which, the Gligar comes out here. He probably has Defog, I would guess. That's pretty common to carry. We could go out into Tentacruel to Scald and try to get a burn. I don't know if that's worth it because he probably has EQ. It's not exactly the best type matchup for us. Eelektross can't really take it on too well. Maybe I should go out into Tentacruel, or maybe I should just go out into Tweet and fire off a Boom Burst and see how much it does. Decisions. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do, and he's probably gonna think this is a curious move and stay in, because why would you bring a Swellow in? Everybody runs Guts. It's, you know, not that big of a deal. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna go for the Boom Burst. I think it can be a 2-hit KO because Gligar really doesn't have a lot in the way of special defense, and he's probably not infested in his special defense either. Most of the time, they're just fully physically defensive. Which they do that job very, very well. They're insanely bulky on the physical side. And the utility that they bring to your team is just great. And that does 57% as he goes for the knockoff. So our choice specs are gone, which means we can choose our moves freely. Unfortunately, that's going to take a bit of the bite off of our Boom Burst. But I'm going to just go for it again anyway and hope that he leaves his Gligar in. Don't want to give you a chance to potentially keep this thing without switching. Okay, he does switch. And even without the choice specs, that does exactly 50% to the Sigilyph. And I'm going to go for it again. Yep, and it just goes down exactly 50% both times. And that is not necessarily a huge threat, but a big threat out of the way. Because that was the Flame Orb set with probably Cosmic Power, Stored Power, all of those fun things that we don't like. Now, the good thing about Swellow here, and the fact that we have Boom Burst, is that it goes through subs. So if you want to try to sub up, that's not going to be the best thing. We could just go for Air Slash too, to break the sub. But he has the priority with Prankster, so he would definitely go first if he wants to fire off a substitute. I'll go for the Air Slash. He opts to not go for that, and he goes for the Trick Room. I'm confused. I guess we'll just go for a Boom Burst here. So he has... let me think about this. He has Trick Room, Leech Seed, Substitute. Did he have Giga Drain as his other move? I think he did. Anyway, he goes down to a Boom Burst after he sets up another Leech Seed. And I'll go for a Boom Burst here. We go down to a Poison Jab. So that means that he is Choice Scarf, I guess? Choice Scarf, Physical Nidoking. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. I really do. But at the same time, we might be okay to just go out into Boris if he's locked into Poison Jab. And we can fire off, I guess, a Rock Blast, predicting the Vivillon to come out. Oh no, he stays in. And we go first. Oh wait, it's... And he almost kills us with an Aqua Tail. Oh my gosh. Now I can just go for an EQ. I completely derped on the fact that this is Trick Room. I mean, he's not Choice Scarf. He didn't show Life Orb too, did he? Am I really that stupid? No, he didn't show Life Orb. I just completely forgot about the Trick Room. So it definitely not Scarf Nidoking. There's no reason to go for Rock Blast predicting the Vivillon. I should have just went for the EQ to take him out. And we outsped because of the Trick Room. And Rhyperior was the right switch and everything because he's super slow. I dropped the ball on that one. Thankfully, we didn't lose too many Pokemon there. And that's the reason that Swellow went down too, is because Nidoking outsped in Trick Room. I should have... It's plays like that, like, if you lose the match, you look back and you're like, what in the world is wrong with me? Hindsight is always 20/20. You're never going to always realize everything in every match and just get everything right. Never make any mistakes. But it's the silly ones that, like that, where, like, if you lose a match or almost lose a match, you look back and you go, what was I doing? What in the world? Alright, he's gonna go for a Sleep Powder here. I mean, thankfully for us, he took 49% due to the rocks, which is great. But yeah, Sleep Powder is a thing. He's probably going to go for a Quiver Dance coming up. And I don't know what his other two moves are. Hurricane is one of them. He might have Bug Buzz. I would say Substitute could be a thing. That's the set that I really like to use, but with lefties, he doesn't have lefties. I think he was Focus Sash. So he does go for the Quiver Dance. Because of our Assault Vest, I'm not afraid of this thing. You cannot one-shot me even with a Bug Buzz. So he opts to go for the Hurricane, which only does 28%, and T-Bolt actually just takes him out, even though he's at +1 special defense. So another big threat out of the way. And this is looking like a victory for us, unless that Delphox can really come through for him. And actually, I'm not completely convinced that a Giga Drain will kill. But, man, I was hoping it was. I knew he was going to go for the Roost. And it becomes super effective because he loses his flying typing. He decides to go for the knockoff here to get rid... I should have the Flamethrower. Oh, that would have killed. Alright, he's going to go for the Roost here. Yeah, there we go. And we're getting all of our health back. I mean, we did lose our Assault Vest, so the Delphox can still come in and poop all over the place. But we have a couple of Pokemon that resist the Fire-type stab, at least. And they're usually choiced. As we get a critical hit on the Gligar, People Eater is the nickname, which is pretty cool. So yeah, now he's down to just this Delphox, which takes a nice 24% due to those Stealth Rocks. That's why I wanted to get him up early on in the match, and we'll see what he wants to do. And I don't think T-Bolt will kill. I don't think I have anything on this moveset that will kill, to be honest. He's probably just going to go for Fire Blast. Oh, Psychic, that works too. He gets the special D-Drop, which is fine. And we get the Paralysis and Red Card. Red Card Delphox. Okay, but I mean, he's paralyzed, so there really is no reason to do anything except for just Scald, I guess. Yeah, I'm just going to go for the Scald. Fair enough. And Delphox goes down, so that's going to be another victory for us. I don't think we lost throughout this entire session, so this team is undefeated in like 6 or 7 battles or whatever it was. Maybe 6. I don't know. Something like that. We had quite a few, and we ended up winning all of them somehow. Doesn't happen that often, but it's always exciting, and these matches were good. Very good. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this session. If you have a suggestion for the next session coming up, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. And I might actually bulk record, so it might take a few before your suggestion is put in. But that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you did, please make sure you're leaving a like rating or a comment or whatever you would like to do. And I will see you all next time. But until then, game on.